Hello, I'm glad to be here today with Mark Stapleton, the CEO of TPC Technology and founder of the company. I've met Mark a few years ago in Turkey, where he has been working with his company PowerChem, which he also founded. And it was really interesting to kind of hear about his passion and work in Turkey. So we thought it would be timely to kind of learn more about his new endeavor in Turkey. With chemical engineering services. So it would be really great to have you here, Mark, and the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Alex. I'd like to thank you and thank GeoEnergy for the opportunity to present myself, our company, and our team in Turkey. We're very excited about the things that we have done and the new things that we're doing in Turkey. I have developed and put together a small, short PowerPoint presentation about our new company, TPC Technology. And I'd like to be able to present a little bit about what we're doing, about our history, my background in particular, and the purpose and mission for our company in our new entity in Turkey. Okay. So I am the owner and founder of TPC Technology, and it was established in January of 2020. Our mission is to be able to provide unparalleled chemical engineering solutions for the Turkey geothermal investors. And we understand that there are changing market conditions in the region, and we've established our domestic manufacturing, sales, and technical services in order to support more fully the needs that exist in Turkey today. I'd like to introduce our VP of Global Sales, that's Tevfik Ayata, and our Sales and Technical Director for the EMEA region is Murat Karadaş. Okay. We are headquartered in the Ataşehir area of Istanbul, Turkey, in this particular Palladium Tower, which you can see a picture of. That's our head office and regional headquarters. We have a production facility located in the Kamal Pasha area of Izmir, Turkey, where we produce 180,000 tons per year of production capacity. We have 4,000 square meters under roof in this production facility, and this is where we produce our raw materials and our finished goods. We are, of course, adjacent to a major port there in Izmir. And as importantly, and important for the geothermal industry, we're strategically located within 90 minutes by bulk delivery to the geothermal plants in the Turkey region. So our history, so to clarify, just want to provide a little bit of background of my history in particular in the geothermal industry. And so I began working in the geothermal industry in the late 1980s. And during that time period, gosh, we saw many issues and problems that existed in the geothermal industry, and we developed new and effective anti-scalant and corrosion control solutions that began to immediately provide successes and began to allow power plants to run much more effectively with the appropriate treatments for scale and corrosion control. In the early 1990s, our team expanded in pretty much all of the geothermal industry within the USA, most of which, of course, is on the west coast of the USA. And then we expanded into the worldwide geothermal industry, where we began to break new grounds in this particular sector, and we provided innovative chemical engineering solutions to the worldwide geothermal industry. PowerChem was founded by me in 2001. Again, the vision of PowerChem was to provide chemical engineering solutions exclusively to the worldwide geothermal industry. So we were a dedicated company providing engineering services exclusively to the geothermal industry. Thus, we developed a tremendous amount of experience, a tremendous amount of expertise in geothermal fields all across the world. We were originally located in Southern California before moving to Minden, Nevada in 2002, where we became a leading company in the worldwide geothermal industry. I have published multiple papers and have spoken at numerous conferences over the past 30 years. Our experience in Turkey, I think, is worthwhile to note. We began working in Turkey in 2007. At that time, the two projects that were operating was Kızıldere 1 and Dora 1. And as I recall, they had installed capacity of about 22.5 megawatts. And so in 2007 is when I first began working in Turkey. And at that time, we discovered that there was severe wellbore and surface scaling was occurring at all the plants. Very severe calcite scaling, of course, occurring in the wellbore and at the wellheads. We at that time, the new project at Germinchek was under construction, and there were serious concerns about scaling and whether or not the scaling conditions that existed in these other projects, which also looked like there were going to be very severe scaling conditions at Germinchek. There was very serious concerns about how effective the treatment programs could be, because to date there hadn't been any effective treatment for calcite or surface scaling conditions. So we began to study the chemistry at Germinchek and determined that yes, it was very severe in its scaling characteristics, but we believed that we had the right technology to control that scaling. And so we introduced this new scaling technology to Germinchek, and we began to run field tests. The field tests were very successful. This resulted in the Gallup Hoca, or the Germat 1 50 megawatt flash plant, to come online in 2009, where our treatment chemistry provided excellent results for downhole treatment, for wellhead treatment, and for treatment across the surface equipment in the plant, from the injection, from the plant vessels, the separation vessels, the plant valves, all of the lines going to injection, and the injection lines as well. And during this time period, there's been no scaling from calcite, metalsilicates, or stibnite at the Germinchek facilities, and there have been no outages at these plants in Germinchek as a result of scaling. I think their availability factor is off the charts. It's about 98% availability factor. So it's a true success story in Turkey for geothermal power plant operation. I'd like to just show you a little bit about our technical approach to how we design and how we approach chemical treatment and scale control treatment in particular. The first thing that we do is we do brine modeling. And so we look at the reservoir chemistry, we examine the reservoir chemistry, and then examine the plant operating conditions and the operating parameters of the plant. And then we can characterize and predict the scaling tendencies of the brine as the brine comes up from the geothermal reservoir up the wellbore, going through two-phase flow, and then of course going into the plant equipment, the separators, and into the injection lines and wells. So we characterize the scaling conditions of the chemistry from production well through the plants all the way to injection. And then based upon that modeling, we design a chemical treatment program that would be custom made and be tailor made to the chemistry and the operating conditions of the plant. Okay, and then we identify the best and most suitable dosage points and equipment to dose that inhibitors and those chemicals into the wells and into the surface equipment. After we design the program, of course, we then implement the program, and we carefully monitor the performance of the program by field testing to ensure we're getting the best performance. And once we are able to determine we have achieved our performance goals, our next goal, of course, is to optimize the treatment so that we can provide the most cost-effective results for the power plant operation. Okay, this slide shows just a quick example or overview of our modeling from the reservoir up through the wellbore, through the separators, and in this case, a binary plant where steam goes into the preheaters, as well as the brine coming out of the separators, going into the and producing the power necessary to turn the turbines and produce electricity. and then of course the brine going to injection wells. And so we model the scaling characteristics across these flow diagrams to determine where and how the treatment program should be designed to prevent scaling and allow for optimum power efficiency and power generation. This slide here is intended just to show you as an example of all the different types of minerals that exist in the reservoir and in the brine. You have various types of calcium that can form calcite. You have various types of silica that can form metal silicates in the power plant, especially in the heat exchangers. Aluminum silicates, calcium aluminum silicate, all of these combination of a variety of silicates I refer to as metal silicates are huge issues within the geothermal fields in Turkey and around the rest of the world for that matter. And in addition to that, we also come across antimony sulfide or stibnite scaling, which is also a problematic type of scale that forms in geothermal plants, especially in the heat exchangers. And when these scaling conditions occur in the heat exchangers, we all know that's going to impair heat exchange and cause a degradation of power generation. One of the things that TPC is especially noted for is our technical and service support. We have a highly experienced team of engineers and managers that understand the dynamics of geothermal power plant operation. We have a tremendous amount of experience in the geothermal industry, and this experience is able to allow us to provide unparalleled technical support to the geothermal projects in Turkey. And we're seeing that our team is really differentiated because of the professionalism and the experience that we have to support the geothermal industry from all of the technical perspectives associated with the dynamics that happen within these geothermal power plant operations. And of course, we have an excellent team of service support. These are our field personnel that are experienced, and they are on the ground testing at wellheads, testing at surface equipment, and we bring in all of the necessary testing equipment to provide testing at the plant site during power plant testing conditions and during normal power plant operations. We bring in the field tests. We're bringing all the tools that are required to be able to provide that service support at the field site. And of course, we provide our chemicals in bulk delivery to the project site, or in IBC containers to the project site, whichever is the most efficient way to provide the products to the plant we can do. And finally, we provide full analytical and laboratory support for the projects that we work with. We have, as I mentioned earlier, tremendous experience worldwide. We work with all the major OEMs, designers of power plants across the globe, and we have tremendous experience from Turkey to Africa, to of course the United States, to Mexico, Central America, South America, New Zealand, Indonesia. These are all the areas that we have experience in for the years that we have been providing services to the industry. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for listening to our short presentation. And we appreciate the opportunity to answer any questions that you might have.
Mark, thank you so much for this overview. I mean, impressive to see the list of plants that you've been involved with, and I guess that is also kind of like maybe then also kind of kicking off the question with Turkey. I mean, 2007 that was the kickoff of basically the big development in Turkey, correct?
That is correct. Yes, and at that time, Alex, there were very serious concerns about being able to solve the chemical engineering challenges. They hadn't been solved to date, and the chemical engineering solutions were difficult for us to develop, but through our studies, we knew that there would be severe conditions of calcite scaling and metal silicate scaling, and we were able to effectively design the right products for for successful treatment.
And maybe kind of briefly on the company. So TPC is a new entity founded earlier this year, but it builds upon your experience and the experience of with PowerChem in the industry. Maybe kind of explain a little bit kind of how this foundation came around.
Yes, so as I think as I mentioned earlier that we needed to adapt to the changing market conditions in the region. And so we established our domestic company, TPC Technology, in January of 2020, and we needed to realize that we, in order to serve the industry more efficiently, we needed to manufacture in Turkey and have our sales and technical service structure in Turkey as well. And so our main goal in this new structuring is really to be able to provide fast, effective, and innovative solutions to the customer's demands. And that by doing so, we really desire then to be the primary choice for chemical engineering solutions in Turkey and the region.
Okay, so it is the focus is regional.
That is correct.
Oh, very interesting. And so I mean, just going back briefly on the development in Turkey. Naturally, I mean, this is always interesting for an international company or international experience, kind of to get a foothold in a local market. Do you see this as an importance to be closer to the customer to the extent that you are at the moment, like in Turkey, or?
Yes, it's become a critical as Turkey has become a dominant country in the worldwide geothermal industry. We realized that our entity, as a Turkish entity, it was important to have that identity in Turkey and to be able to better serve the growing market in Turkey. It's becoming a very important market in the worldwide industry. And so it then became, I think, an important goal for us to be able to make that commitment to have a company in Turkey to be able to be run by our Turkish team and to be able to serve the Turkish investment community much more effectively with our commitment then to being in Turkey.
I mean, it's actually a fantastic area to be in Izmir, and actually the center or the heart of the geothermal industry for Turkey. Maybe kind of a quick outlook or point of view for you for the industry in Turkey. I mean, naturally the industry has been struggling a little bit with the feed-in tariffs to see that they are being prolonged. And do you see this having an impact in investment in geothermal in Turkey at the moment, or?
Well, it seems to be, but I think the country is adapting to the current market conditions and the worldwide conditions associated with the pandemic. And as a result of that, I understand that there are some extensions of time for putting the new plants online for next year's feed-in tariff purchase agreements. So I understand there are extensions in bringing those plants online. Everybody knows there have been delays in construction, and the projects are behind in their schedules, but I think are catching up quickly now. But you bring up a good point. I think the market in Turkey has grown substantially over the last 14 years from 2007, when it first became involved in Turkey. Turkey had 22.5 megawatts of installed capacity, operating very much a huge potential, but not realizing that. It's since then, of course, privatized. Private companies have become involved in owning, developing, and operating the geothermal plants. And now at over 1,500 megawatts of installed capacity, Turkey is now the fourth largest country in the world in terms of geothermal production. So it's a very important marketplace for the industry and for us as a company. And we really want to communicate that we are making a commitment now with our Turkey entity to be able to serve the industry even more effectively from Turkey with our company in Turkey and our incredibly group of talented people that are working with us in Turkey.
I mean, interesting enough, I guess for you also professionally, it must have been really interesting. I mean, this is probably the fastest growth in any country that we've experienced on that scale. So it's definitely interesting. How has it been for you, kind of servicing like this incredible growth?
Oh yes, it's been awesome to see the growth in Turkey. You know, in late 2007, 08, 09, you know, the industry was just beginning to get kicked off, and we had, gosh, it's just so rewarding professionally to see the success that's taken place in Turkey, the growth that's taken place, and I think a lot of us knew that there's enormous potential for the industry there in Turkey, and we have just been so pleased to be able to be a part of providing chemical engineering solutions, and where we have been able to provide our products and services, we think these plants have been able to operate at the highest levels of production capacity, and Turkey does have a you know, it's unique in its chemical demand because of the high CO2 concentrations in the brine chemistries. It creates enormous demands on treatment for scale control. If you have the right treatment and the right programs and the right tailor-made products, you can have effective scale control taking place, and that you can then operate your power plant at a high level of efficiency with the goal of not having to have any shutdowns due to fouling and scaling of your equipment. And so that's our goal, and we are just excited to be a part of that, and it's been very rewarding for me professionally, but also personally. I've gotten to know a tremendous number of people in Turkey, just incredible group of talented engineers and managers that own and operate these geothermal plants, and they've become close friends over the many years that we've been working in Turkey.
I mean, interesting enough is, I mean, you also talked about kind of maybe servicing the region in the future. I mean, we see this interesting move now that some of the Turkish players actually looking international. I mean, and then basically, would you then see also yourself as accompanying some of these companies internationally with your experience and products?
Oh yes, without question, we want to continue to grow and expand to where the demands and the needs are. You know, the European market is smaller, but it's a critical market, and so we see investment into the geothermal industry in Europe being an important part of the renewable industry. And we have products and solutions that we think can be effective in Europe. Africa and Kenya, of course, has got enormous potential for growth, and so we are beginning to continue to communicate and promote and market the products and services that we provide and manufacture in Turkey to that region. And so it's an important, that whole region is very important for us to continue to focus on, Alex.
Excellent. Well, I think, I mean, anything else to add from your side? I mean, this was really interesting, and again, congratulations to your establishment in Turkey, and let's hope you're going to kind of build a lot more in Turkey.
Well, thank you very much, Alex. We again appreciate the opportunity to have this presentation, have this interview. I think our purpose was to help clarify and to provide a complete background of who I am, our company, and the work that we're now doing in Turkey. I really can't help but continue to indicate how incredible our team in Turkey is. This is the best group of engineers and managers I think I've ever worked with and assembled and put together as a team in Turkey and the region for that matter. And I think that our team, I give a lot of credit to our entire team for the capabilities that we have and for the opportunities that we have before us. So thank you again, Alex, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mark.